Hello. Wanted to share, we have GPT-o1, the latest model, previously called Strawberry, that we pushed live this weekend for TruePilot. And I wanted to show some of the differences that you can see inside of the product. And the main thing that's really different about the o1 model is that it's much better at calculations. Some of the data would indicate that on complex problems, it's gone from maybe like 30–40% to 80%, which is a pretty phenomenal improvement in a short period of time. And I want to show you kind of how that plays out. So I will say, show me how much Avis Jones saved in distributions by being an S Corp. So I can now do a calculation for an individual client. Previously, it would give me like a blob of text that we actually use a RAG system to make it more accurate, something more complex that I won't go into detail on. But now with the difference here that I can see with o1 is that there's a lot more calculation specificity, and we always ask it to show all of the math. And again, here it's like structuring, or excuse me, it's calculating based on his distribution, which is, with a distribution and an S Corp, you're avoiding self-employment tax. And so, he avoided about $15,000 of self-employment tax here with his distributions. One of the other things I like to show is, calculate the minimum required salary for Avis as well. There's all sorts of other things I can do with S Corp owners. Obviously, one of our best tools as a CPA in a small practice or a tax professional. It gives me all the reasonable compensation things to consider. It gives me the current data. I can see he's taking a lot of money right now. This is a made-up client, by the way. And like Social Security wage base to max out Social Security, comparable salaries. It's recommending roughly $150,000 here based on the profit of his business, the type of business that he's running, and maximizing Social Security as well. And then I could say how much less in taxes would Avis pay if he the same business profit but reduced his salary to $150,000. So now I can actually go back and have it calculate a specific savings. What I'm getting around to here is a summary that I can send this client, right? And I might actually ask for a call as well, which I actually did with the real version of this client. And walk through it with them individually to make sure they understand the different pros and cons of doing this, as well as hey, if you are going to get a mortgage on a house, you may want to think about doing the opposite of what's in your best interest from a tax perspective. But I can actually go into that conversation with a really detailed breakdown of what the savings would be in this proposed proposed scenario. So the tax savings there is going to be pretty material for them based on the reduction in payroll taxes. So you can see in one call, I can save a client a lot of money, but most importantly, I can run these hypotheticals very quickly and I can identify advisory opportunities for clients. Not only can I send them better responses, better reports, but I can get to quick answers like this without having to go back to the tax return and copy over the tax return. Love any questions you guys have. Appreciate the time. This is another good example of how to use TruePilot.